Pregame.com.
Pregame.tv breaking down college football action, top 20, top 2. Oregon visits Washington. Should be a great game. Vegas runners going to be breaking this down. We're going to be hearing from Brady Kannon, the 2011 Hilton Contest champion as well in this game. We're going to start with VR. Oregon Ducks. I think Oregon's the best team in the country.
Not even close. I like Oregon, don't get me wrong. And Oregon's one of those teams that have made bettors money. They really have, because they run up scores. And they've killed sports books, even though
destroyed them.
Demolished them. I mean, I know guys that are really sharp, and they know they're maybe not getting the best of the number, and they're still betting Oregon, saying this team goes out and they cover. Why wouldn't I?
I have a sportsbook story.
Give it to me.
I'm watching the Cal game, all right? Opens 33. Goes all the way up to 39, closes 39, blips up to 40, back down to 39, all right? And so what happens, Oregon's killing them the whole game, and the sportsbook manager's just like, he's just fuming, all right? And he said, well, at least we took some plus 40 money at the very end here, you know? But he's fuming. He said, we're still going to take a bath on all the parlays, all right? So Cal, end of the game, backdoor, they score, all right? And they cut the lead to 39. And I hear the guy, he's like, oh, that's just ridiculous. He's cursing. He says, but at least we knocked down those huge bets on the guys who laid 38.5 before it went to 40. And then the extra point goes wide. Oh. And he says, that's funny. That's effing funny.
I'm telling you.
He says, pay everybody. I'm out of here.
Johnny Avello, we get to talk to him every week, every Monday. And I bring up Oregon because he says this team has destroyed me. Mm-hmm. No matter what
because Johnny opens early, so
exactly.
So he's got it like it doesn't matter what he puts it at. The offshore's put it at 33. He's got to put it at 35.
And he admits that he puts it out higher.
Doesn't matter. They still lay it.
Exactly. Yeah. And bettors are still going to lay it. And he says the worst part is that he has to drop the line a little bit, because the sharp bettors know he put it out inflated, so they take
and he's
the
taking
dog
bets from guys he knows are winning sports bettors.
Exactly. So he has to drop it a little bit, and then he gets pummeled by the public who bets Oregon.
A $50 three-teamer with Oregon.
Exactly.
And that happened 712 times.
Exactly. And that's what's been happening with this Oregon team. And they've been crushing the books, but let's face it, they haven't played anybody. And I know you could only play who's in front of you, but listen to this. They've laid 59 points, 26 points, 28 points, 38.5, and 38. That's been the point spreads for their game so far. So they've been laying almost 40 points per game. They've been playing nobody. Even two were Pac-12 opponents, Colorado and Cal, and they were still laying 38 and 38.5.
Worst two teams in the Pac-12.
Exactly. When you look at Washington's 4-1 straight up and against the spread. They played Boise State, they played Arizona, and they played Stanford and gave Stanford a run for their money. And I think Stanford's kind of undervalued. They're kind of a public team, but I don't think people give them the respect they deserve. I think Stanford's for real. They're one of the best teams in the country.
Stanford doesn't look as pretty as Oregon.
No,
because they don't score 65 points. They grind it out. They're Jim Harbaugh, tough football.
But now, games of the year, Stanford, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I'm a huge Duck fan. Stanford, I believe, is getting 6 over at Jay Kornegay's place over at the SBH.
Right.
So they're saying Oregon's 9 points better than Stanford.
How about this? At the Golden Nugget, when they opened this game up, Oregon was 14.
Oh, this game, yeah.
This game, Oregon was 14. When LVH opened it up, Oregon was 9.
Wow.
When they put it out before the season, when they put their first game of the year sheets out, Oregon was 9, a 5-point swing. Now it comes back to 14. Here's where I think the problem that Oregon's going to have. I don't think Washington, coming off a loss like that, is going to be depleted. I think if they were playing a Colorado, a Cal, it may be a good flat spot.
Moral victory.
To where you may get the cover, the back door. They may not put effort because they're kind of down losing to Stanford. But you lost to Stanford. You played a hell of a game. And now you're coming home and Oregon's coming in. I do think they're going to be able to give their best effort. I think they're going to bring their A game.
They came a 4th and 10 play away in a reviewed call, away from possibly winning that game. So is there a letdown? I don't think so. They come away from that game, you going, you know what? We can play with the big boys in this conference.
Well, let me ask you this, Brady.
On the road, mind you.
Let me ask you this as far as scheduling dynamics. So we're Washington. We play Arizona. All right, we're a 9-point favorite. Big game. top 20 team Arizona, play very well. Then we play at Stanford, another big game. Meanwhile, Oregon's just pounding on the cupcakes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And don't we get a little concerned that Oregon's been prepping for this game basically for a month while Washington's been in a fight for their lives each and every week?
I agree. I agree. But here, this too, though, that it's hard to simulate this kind of game with practice and cupcakes, where Washington's been playing against tough teams. So when Stanford comes in, when Oregon comes in, maybe they haven't seen Oregon yet, but they've seen some teams that are right there with Oregon. Maybe not as good as Oregon, but at least competitive. Exactly. And where I think that Washington has a good advantage going into this game, not an advantage, but equal footing, is that they play an up-tempo style of football as well. So the defense for Washington, who practices against this offense every day,
they're a very athletic team.
They're going to be okay with this Oregon style. It's not like where they're going to look that confused.
Arizona plays very fast also.
Yeah, and if you look at the Oregon defense, Colorado went down the field and scored on their first two possessions. On them.
So did Cal.
They were down 10-8. I mean, you could score on this Oregon defense.
And Washington has a great running game. I like that running game against Stanford, who's supposed to defend the run real well. Exactly. They got nice balance, good athletes. Oregon hasn't seen that yet.
I'm going to let you make it official, but here's why I'm going to disagree.
Okay? All right.
I know that if Alabama and Oregon run the table, they're in the final.
That's what everyone wants to see. That's what people want to see.
I know it. You know it. But you know what? They don't know it. They still think Ohio State has a chance if they run the table, and that they have to keep putting up the good, not just win, but win
style points.
The style points. Also, that Washington signature win, Soldier Field against Illinois. Illinois, we found out, it's garbage when they played at Nebraska, and we take a look at Oregon's cupcake schedule. They had one game. One of those cupcakes was Tennessee. Well, Tennessee's not nearly as bad as we thought they were. That's what has me concerned. But I'm still going to go ahead and let you make it official here. Let's do it.
Pac-12, Oregon at Washington. I took Washington last week against Stanford. I'm going to take Washington again this week. I think this defense is for real. This is a defense that allows only 3.9 yards per play against some pretty good teams like Boise State and Arizona. And offensively, they're as balanced as they come. 259 yards rushing, 298 yards passing, and that up-tempo style, the defense is going to be ready for Oregon. Listen, Oregon's for real. They're 1A and 1B. I think Alabama on a neutral field, maybe a field goal better. 2 points, some would say. I think a field goal better. I give more stock to the SEC than I do with what Oregon's done in the Pac-12. With that said, I think Washington's going to give this team a run for their money. Don't be surprised if Washington spoils the party, baby. Sprinkle a little something on that Oregon.
Take a little plus 600 on the Washington money.
They may spoil everything.
We disagreed. Brady, you get to be the tiebreaker, the new guy here. Who's right on this one?
I'm going to go with the Ducks. I think I like VR's angle. I think everything makes sense, but I can see that score in the last few minutes taking that thing to 16 or something like that. And I think they play them tight all game long, but then there just could be that breakaway at the end that spoils the play.
Oregon going for 2 every time they score.
Little disclosure, I drove Brady over here tonight, so if he wants to come home, he has to go ahead and agree with me. I am going to go ahead and give out a bonus pick on this one, though, too, if I may. Bonus pick on this one, Oregon, Alabama. VR said 2 points, 3 points better Alabama. We're going to take Oregon over at the Gold Nugget. Games of the year. They have a special championship games of the year hypothetical matchups. You can have Oregon plus 3.5 against Alabama. There is no way this line's going to come that high unless Alabama suddenly stops suspending all their criminal players and Oregon goes in the tank. If Oregon rolls through the Pac-12, beats Stanford, and gets there, this line's going to come pick them. I really like that bet. It's a little bonus pick. Probably maybe they may not play, but I think it's
not just going to come pick them. I think even if they bring it out with Alabama -2 or whatever, I think money's going to come in on Oregon. People love this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
People love this
against Auburn. Remember, they bet that thing all the way from plus 3.5 down to
they continue to win so impressively, too. It doesn't matter who their competition is.
And throughout this year, everybody's making money on them. So you have a good feeling. If you're a bettor, you have a good feeling.
They seem to be more powerful this year than in the past.
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about undefeated against the spread. We're going to be talking when we come back pregame.tv about one team that's undefeated and one team that's undefeated I should say they are defeated every game against the spread. They are 0-5 straight up and against the spread. We are, of course, talking about
your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Your Jacksonville Jaguars. Will they win a game this year? You know, the poor William Hill put up a prop. Will a team lose 14 or more games this year? And the yes was like plus 350. They're going to get annihilated on this
destroyed.
Single-handedly, they're drawing dead because Jacksonville, they're not going to win. But can they cover the 26.5 points? Stay with us. Pregame.tv.
You're going to